guys, how you doing? How you doing? Uncle Craig here on the Bon Knock. As you can see, the sun is shining. Feels good. Dry things out. It was actually sunny yesterday morning. Well, mid-morning, the sun came out. Stayed out. I mean, it rained. Definitely rained yesterday. It rained early afternoon, evening. But in the morning, I was able to do work on my shop house. That form that needs to be built, go across the top in the front of the house where the double windows are. I built that, and definitely not something that is so easy to do with one person. Because you kind of, have to kind of. I'm doing everything, the traditional, I suppose, Bon Knock way, which is fabrication. If I needed something, I had to fabricate it. And so, old wood that I've used 20 times already. Some of it was rotten. I had to replace it. And old metal bar that would cut and bend into, into squares where I could wedge it and trap it. All kinds of stuff. And the whole thing set up and fell down at least 3 times. But I was not disillusioned. Disappointed maybe. But I finally figured it out and got it up and got it done. And it made it, and it actually makes it easier for the other, what's that, 1, 2, 3, 4 more that I have to do. Although this one was more difficult because it has the space for the 2 windows. So the bottom of the form was only in those 2 spaces. The rest of it is, formed right on top of the brick. But anyway, looking forward to it. Not really. The one time it fell, all the wood fell, and the wood on the inside fell, and it hit the ladder, and then the ladder fell and just missed the windows I had leaning up against there. Not really accident prone, but I'm a risk taker. That's why sometimes accidents happen. Just run the numbers, man. When I was putting that other window in, I don't know if I shared that story, but the kitchen window, I had it up there and I was holding it. I had some wood, wedged it up in there, and I needed to raise it up so it's kind of canted, So I needed to take that wedge wood out, and I took that out, and the whole window just went and fell right away from me. I was like, ah! And it fell, and I got all the debris and rock and concrete on the outside, on that side, and it just kind of goes boom and bounced off there. In my eyes, it was gonna shatter, But it's PVC frame. The window is sealed, tempered glass in there, so it really just bounced off all that concrete, and nothing happened to it. So I was like, woo! Glad about that. When I don't know if I told this story either, but another near miss. When I brought the last batch of concrete bags from the store, and I had my steps already built, but the last form was in place on the top, and again using old wood. And that old piece of wood had a nail sticking out like this way. So when I walked up, I actually had that 50-kilo bag on my shoulder. When I walked up the stairs, my front of my boot caught that nail head on, and just basically stopped me in my tracks. But it stopped me, and because I was such, counterweighted up there, I fell forward, and the bag flipped off my shoulder, but it landed right in my cement bucket, my big blue mix bucket. Although the bucket couldn't sustain it, so it just crushed the bucket. But still, the bag went poof right into that bucket, and I didn't fall flat on my face, but I put my hand down, and stumbled up after it. But I was like, "What in the hell was that?" I looked, and I'm like, "What?" And then I saw the nail, and I saw a big hole in my boot. And I was like, "Damn!" It could have been disastrous if I would have, I don't know. If I would have fell forward, I probably would have hit my head on a brick or something. And I was here by myself too, so that would have been perfect. But, the closer I get to finishing that, at least all the concrete and stuff like that, the less opportunity for, mistakes or learning moments. But yeah. I like it when the sun's out in the morning. It helps me. I think it just helps me think clearer image in my mind of what I want to do today, or the day. In the midst of all of this, I still got to take care of my plants and all those things. I want to get done because you let something go, especially with plants. You let it go too long by itself, it'll die. In spite of the rain or the moisture in the air. I mean, some of them hang on, but they'll die. I took a bunch of little video clips out at the Gluay Khai festival, the Big Banana Festival here in Camping Pit. And so this video, I'll include some sights and sounds from that festival. I didn't really narrate while I was walking through there. I was just taking video clips, so many people. So I'll just string them all together, and I think maybe most of them probably have music because they're just boom, boom, booming over there. They also had a parade. I got a little bit from the parade. It kicks off the whole 10 days, actually, that festival was. And it rained like a banshee, probably 8 of those days. But it was still good, still fun. People still came out, man, packed. Packed. Most of the seating was not covered, so you can get wet, but people still, they just stand somewhere else under the cover and eat. Speaking of eating, I didn't check my fish trap yesterday, so I'll check it this morning. You want to do that? And might be some fish in there. That's a big fish trap, the holes are big. That's why turtles wind up getting in there. And a smart fish, I mean, the very first time I used it, I caught 2 big old catfish, so that was pretty cool. I haven't caught any catfish since. I think I caught a little fish, but if it's in there for any length of time and it's underwater, high water level over the trap, a catfish gets in there, you can figure out how to get back out of there. I mean, there's 2 sides, so if he goes all the way to the back one, you can get out of that and still get caught in the front one if you can't figure out how to get out. But like I say, the holes are big enough You know, if they just keep doing this, they'll figure it out. But not the turtles. Crabs maybe. They try. They could, because they got the big, you know, the big pincher. They could just grab onto the wood and keep moving until they got themselves out. Some of them probably do. But these floods, man. Whoa. Might get the drone up later today on this one section over here in the main road coming in. They've been dealing with that. It flooded out, and then I saw them bring in like giant rocks and major pump and close the road, and then there was no water after that next day or two. I was like, oh, pretty good mitigation. You guys are good. And then we went out the other day when I made the drone shots of the Ping River out there by the market. On the way out, the whole thing was flooded again. It was raging underneath. You know, it's like it's not a bridge, but there's like a, you know, the canal overpass or farmland overpass to let normal drainage through, and that whole thing was just gushing underneath there. So it's definitely flooding everywhere. I was watching yesterday the YouTube channel, My Life, I think it's My Life in Thailand. British chap. He's building a house out in the farmland, and it's raised up enough that it's not flooding, but he's renting a house in the city, and the house just was like, you know, halfway underwater. Total bummer, but you know, they escaped or whatever, and they stayed like in a hotel. In the morning, he decided, well, I'm going to walk back to the house. I got to survey the damage. So he walked through waist deep water back there, and shortly before he got to the house, in the video, you can just see this massive snake. I think it was a cobra actually, and it just was going right across the path, right across the water, because you know, water levels across. You can't really see the road aside from the poles, so he's probably walking straight for that. But big old snake going across, and then you see it just hits where there's a tree, and it stands up and it goes up the tree, and then it, I don't know, for whatever reason it comes out of the tree or falls out of the tree, but before it does that, it's like hanging on with its. At first it stands up like this, like it stood up like 2 or 3 feet by itself in the water. Like it's on top of the water, but it's using the water, and it's standing straight up. Big old thick snake, you know. And it gets to the tree and stuff, but then it must have used its head or something, because you saw it hanging from the tree, the whole white belly of the snake, all the way down, like the tail parts in the water, and the rest of this thing goes all the way up to the thing, and then it falls back in the water and starts going back to, you know, to where he is, and you're like, shit. But yeah, that's the thing about floodwaters, man. You never know what you're gonna get. Speaking of which, I'm gonna put my boot socks on. I realized, you know, I was putting my boot socks on, and then I fold my pants over and put my boot on, but I realized that was an extra step. So, because whenever I took my boot, I had to take my boots off to go in the house or this, that. I just put my boot socks on over my pants. Yeah. But get my boots on. We'll go over there and check that trap. See if there's any action. Any trap action. Right, put my gloves on. Sun went behind a cloud. That'll probably be the last time I see the sun today. a stiff neck from looking up at the form like, all day yesterday, man. That took all day. Well, I started early. Like right now, it's like not even 7 probably. But I started early yesterday, and I finished the form or finished pouring it 2:30, 3 o'clock. Whew. So, got my camera on my gimbal today. See if that's working. Still don't. I'm gonna run into any snakes. Big old snail sucking up the water. Whoa. Alright, let's put you down over here. Boom. Wait a minute, we'll go this way. Alright. That is my window to the world. Oh, a couple crabs and a baby turtle. Hey, little fella. There. There he is. Let me see my camera. Yeah, he's a little hockey puck. Nice color though on that bottom. Turtle bomb. Crabs. Well, there's 3 of them. I'm gonna get my bucket. Well, got 4 of them. 4 of my little crabbies. I'm gonna turn that. There you go. All right, man. Well, let me get busy, do some work. Put my crabs in my little crabby jail, and we'll get back at you. All right, thanks for watching. Keep watching and enjoy the sights and sounds of the Banana Fest. this is a Gluay Khai festival. Nice.
คนก็ไปไกลน้องอยากมาที่นี่เลยนะ
ต่อได้เลยไหนก็ได้ถ้าอินอยู่แล้วนะครับอยู่บุ๊กนะครับ